Hi everybody, I'm John Gabor with JonnyGMTB Coaching and Skills Training. With the 2014 race season coming to a close, riders are already beginning to prepare and train for next season. In the off season, everybody I work with is going to do some variation of the squat, and if you're training, chances are you will be too. What I'm going to show you is one simple way to make squats a more effective exercise, and this idea can be carried over to almost any exercise. When you do a squat, you drop down, pause, and then raise back up to the starting position. The starting position greatly reduces the amount of tension in your muscles, giving them a brief moment of recovery. This is what I try and avoid. My goal is to keep the muscle under tension no matter where I am in the movement. Let me show you. Okay, so let me show you just how easy it is to make your squats more effective. I'm going to get in my standard squat stance. I squat with my feet about 12 inches apart. This number comes from, I've measured from pedal to pedal, and it was basically a foot. When I do any exercise, I want to mimic my position as close to the bicycle as possible. When I do a push-up, I do a push-up with my hands at 30 inches wide because that's how wide I run my bars. So anything I do, I'm just trying to mimic my position on the bicycle. When I'm on the bicycle, let's say my feet are 12 inches apart, if I go wider, that's not how it feels on the bicycle. I'm not trying to be supportive or stable in that way. I do my movements in the position I need to be stable on the bicycle. Therefore, I measure everything out and I repeat it in my exercises. So I have my standard squat. I'll have the starting position, I'll drop down, I'll pause, and then I'll return to the starting position. Returning to the starting position is what takes almost all the tension off my leg muscles. Yes, they're still under tension because something has to keep me standing upright. So let me show you the difference between taking the tension off your muscles or leaving it in your muscles. Okay, standard squat position. I start. I'm pretty straight when I start, so that's how you'll be able to see the difference between the two. So I start, I drop down, come back up, drop down, pause, come back up. This right here is where I'm resetting and I'm taking a lot of the tension off. Now let me show you how to keep tension on the muscles. Such a small movement, or a small difference. I drop down, pause, come back up. But I don't come back up all the way. I stay in this position. And if you think about how far your feet actually move through a revolution, you don't have to be a super deep squatter. That's not gonna help your pedaling movement, because your pedaling movement is so small. So let me show you again. If I drop down, pause, come back up, but not fully all the way up. Down, pause, up. So the difference is between here and here. This keeps the tension in my legs. This greatly reduces it. So with just that small difference, you're making the squat a much more effective exercise. And like I said, this can be applied to almost any exercise when you really think about it. Just not fully committing back to a resting position, but leaving the muscles under tension. So there you have it. So one last thing, if you're going to decide to use this idea or principle, make sure you do this when you're doing exercises in the high rep range. If you're doing heavy weight, low reps, you're not going to want to do this. Chances are you're going to need that moment, like at the top of the squat, just for that recovery, just so you can get your next rep out. So like I said, high reps, I recommend it. Low rep, heavy weight, don't do it.